do you think there is, I mean, on a broader aspect, people who pursue narrow careers, what do you think? Is there a bit of disadvantage? Do you think there are disadvantages as well?
No, not particularly so. I do think the world of entrepreneurship is very hard, on people pursuing 9 to 5s and having their regular job like from Monday to Friday. But if that's what they like, if they're happy with it, if their goal is like having a wife, a house, mortgage, barbecuing on Saturdays and Sundays. But if they're happy, that's I think what's important. The hard part is when they're unhappy and they don't change.
Yeah, you don't want to change.
That's the part I struggle to understand. Other than this, I think actually if you have clarity and you know what you're good at and you can do that for like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, it pays dividend at the end because you will be the expert. You can get paid a lot of money in comparison to your competition because you can. I mean, specializing is not that bad. I think
it's not that bad. Yeah,
there's a good book. I mean, about that. It's called Range. I forgot.
Yeah, the author. I've read it. David Epstein.
Exactly. So it's like succeeding as a generalist in the specialist world, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I've skimmed through only this book, but yeah, I think both worlds are. We need everyone, right?
We need everyone.
Generalists.
Yeah, you need
because
everyone.
I wanted to become a generalist to be able to understand every piece of a business, so that when you talk to an accountant, you can actually
have a conversation,
have a good conversation, and when you talk to the dev, you can have a conversation. And when people feel understood, well, they respect you better, right?
Yeah, right.
And also it helps you not being fooled, because like
of course,
sometimes you ask for a quote and it's like, oh yeah, it's going to take 3 days. Well, it's just a button, and you can do that in like half a day or like 2 hours. So that's why I pursued this, because I had this long vision of, okay, I want to know how the pieces of a business work together so that I can understand everyone and then try to make something out of it.
Yeah, and I think one of the thing with switching careers when you're someone who's pursued a specific career, it's like when you've gone too deep, it's like it's hard to come out.
That's also very hard. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I highly respect specialized people.
Yeah.
But I also highly respect people who switch career because it's very hard. And I've got this question a lot of, you're new, like you're early. Yeah, but does that mean you're that bad? Of course you have a lot of people that did the job for a longer time and everything, but I do believe skills translate over industries, and it's very hard actually to switch careers. And I respect a lot of people who do that and risk that, because
it's like having superpower. If you can do it.
Yeah, if you can do it, it's a superpower, but it takes guts. It takes
you are risking a whole lot.
Believing your instinct.
Yeah.
So risky. Yeah, it's risky, but at least you can always fall back to your previous career. And then, if I may, like I call on every HR people to be kind to these people and just like to respect that and just have a keen eye, and be, okay, you're trying, and because the person is trying to find something that suits them better, and sometimes I do believe if they are passionate about it, they might do it better than the guy who's an expert 10 years and then he has the expert eye. So
So talking about the book Range, there is this chapter where that's dedicated to what I call outside of you. What it states is specifically that people who have experience outside a specific domain sometimes see better than people who have been in this domain for a long time, because it's like you are under a narrow tunnel, and these people who come from different background with different experiences, they see like a bird. It's like they have this bird eye view where they can see everything, whereas you who have been in this department for a long time, you're like a frog.
It's expert eyes.
You go very, so it's like you always want to have confirmation bias about what you're doing, about how your market is going, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, once you've been too much in a job, you think you know everything, and then you start not questioning everything. Whereas with fresh eyes, you get a new perspective.
Yeah, you get laid back, just relax.
Yeah, and I see that in crypto, for example. I've been here in a few years, but I call myself a crypto minimalist. I believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the rest of it, it's hard to convince me. But I've been with younger people, and they always come up at me with like new project and everything, and I like to get their perspective, their fresh perspective on the domain, because for them it's all new. and they come at me with, okay, this is the new thing, you know. And of course, with the experience I have, I was like, okay, I've seen waves of fads and craze, so I'm more cautious. But I like their
But it's nice to look into their own perspective and see.
yeah, because it's fresh. It's yeah, so it's good.
Well, yeah, I think that helps too, because once you dig into deep, you can. It's like literally digging underground. Once you start digging, you still see everything out here, up here. But then you go deeper and deeper, and let's say you go 5 feet, 6 feet, you can't see anything
Above,
above you. You know, yeah. So the only thing you see is where you are digging.
And it also takes a lot of self-reflection, because like you might say, was I wrong all this time, you know? And someone new comes up to you and say, oh, actually, this is better than what you did. And so I think it takes honesty as well.
Yeah, I think so. So for you, are there things you think you would have done earlier than now?
Earlier than now. I think I would have taken sleep more seriously, way better.
Sleep is very important.
Yeah, get a good mattress, get good sleep. For example, like when I was a student, I would stay late at night to study until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Now I think I would just go to bed at 10 and wake up at 4. I would be way more fresher. And get some new knowledge way more easily. So yeah, earlier would be like, cleaner, get good sleep and work out.
That's why I take naps.
Yeah, it's good.
Naps are very important. So you staying up to 2 or 3 in the morning, did it change anything? Do you think if you had done lesser, you would have still gotten the same?
Well, it's hard to rewind life, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I would have I would have been more efficient if I had went to bed earlier. Obviously, when you're a student, you want to enjoy life and party and everything, but also even for work, staying up late. So this same 3 hours from midnight to 3 a.m. will not produce the same result as the same 3 hours from 5 to 8. Life is risky.
Yeah. And besides, if you were to trust your instincts, maybe your instincts would be to drop out, and nobody would like this.
Yeah, this I agree. But domain of diploma and everything is a very difficult subject. I love this subject because I don't 100% believe in diploma, for example, but I have a lot of diploma.
Interesting.
So yeah, because I did engineering school, then I did MBA after that. But like I've always, I have a little story, you know, in one of my companies, there was a woman, her boss left the company. So she got promoted and she was 26 and she was head of documentation. So she became head of documentation in a scale up startups. And one of the C-level said, no, she's too young. She's only 26. She cannot be at that level, you know? And I was like, we were in New York. Yeah? So you have 16 years old CEOs in San Francisco raising millions of dollars, and they are CEOs and they are 16. Who are you to tell you she cannot do that? You know, so diploma or not, it depends if you feel you can do that. It's just school is a way to do things if you don't know exactly what you do. If you have a burning desire of launching your startup or everything, why not? So I do believe that it's good to also have a fallback. You know, you can have an academic
a fallback
level
because you never really know what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, I've seen people who launch startups. It's not because they had the wrong idea, or it's not because they didn't put in enough work, or sometimes luck just deal with you. Maybe it's not the right time.
Luck, you mean?
Luck. I mean, luck just
important.
deals with you. Yeah. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe, yeah. I mean, if you launched something like AI 10 years ago and you say, oh, this is AI, no, I'm sure you would have packed up, right? But then it takes some sort of process and people being aware of no code and AI and so on and so forth, and things changing. So I think from no code, people understand, okay, we could automate things. And if we can automate things, the AI could do a little part for us. And we can take it from there.
You have countless stories of people who would be like, yeah, I write a blog and or I post something on LinkedIn, and then that person loved it, replied to me, connected me with X people, and then something out of nothing became something, you know. So this is
serendipity.
Yeah, serendipity. That's the word. Yeah, exactly. So this can happen, like, and you can, and back to Dubai as well, you know, and that's where I think Dubai is a great place to improve your chances of luck. Exactly, because you have a higher chance to meet the right person here than maybe in your hometown. That's on the scale of probability.
You just know you just have to know the right places to go and the right things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you talk to one person, and then it's like, you know, you just go from one person to another.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. You talk to one person, it's like, oh, okay, I know this person. Hold on, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, but this is easier than many people think. Yeah, sometimes you think like business is super hard or everything, but actually it's easier than we think.
You know, so yeah, on the issue of luck. So just a few days, like last week, I met somebody while having coffee, and we just talked, and we started talking, and immediately she said, oh, I told her, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to launch this. She said, oh, okay, great. I know somebody who's done this for Dubai in 20 years, and he has contact for distributors and suppliers and retailers. I'll share his number with you. I said, okay, great. She did. I mean, it didn't waste. There was no time wasting. And just yesterday, I messaged this person, and he said, oh, great. I'll be happy to help you. Let's set up a meeting downtown or Festival City. Even if I can't help, I've been in this space for 20 years, and I know distributors and suppliers. That's how
you're moving forward.
You're moving forward. And this is something I would have cracked my head about, and, you know, just trying to figure out, okay, how do I get to this line? How do I get to this line? And it's like, if you don't start, you are never moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. You know, sometimes you have to start.
So see everything.
And then from one step to another, then your trajectory might deviate a little bit, but it's okay. You know, you just go with the flow, and yeah.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, a lot of people makes it feel like it's harder than it actually is, but it's not.
Of course, there are a lot to do, and there are some hard parts, but some parts are easier than we think.
Yeah, I mean, it could be rejection or something.
Rejection. Well, yeah. Well, rejection is part of the process.
Part of the process, yeah. So you need thick skin. Sometimes when you ask people too, they feel some kind of pressure.
That's true. Yeah.
They want to go. They're like, okay, I don't want to do it, but how do I even answer? And then some people don't even answer at all because they can't say no, even though they can't say yes either. So it's okay to say no if you want to say no, because I'm okay with that as well.
It goes back to honesty, you know.
Yeah.
Because why should I say yes and go and have a bad time with you? Like, I will be with you, but in my mind I'll be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that coming from the US back to Europe because I was too straightforward and too honest.
Too honest, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people see it as you being rude and brutal.
Exactly. Honesty is considered as something rude and brutal and too frank. Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
To be honest, but you also have to deal with how people perceive you, and so obviously you have to smoothen the angle, obviously. But yeah.
About your project, tell us a bit more.
Oh yeah, the current project. So, well, as I told you, I've been in the crypto space for a few years now, and after writing 2 books about it, I felt I wanted to actually be actively involved in the space. And I do believe that people want to invest in crypto, but they don't know how. So I want to give a chance for employees, you know, to invest in crypto through their bonuses, their year-end bonuses. So allow companies to deliver year-end bonuses in crypto, like Bitcoin or crypto assets, to their employees. Also in the mix, increase their employee retention through a Bitcoin vesting system, like you would do with equity. Then it would be the same, but with Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, you increase employee retention, and your employees get exposure to new asset class.
New asset class. So
that can appreciate in the long term.
So yeah, so I've been in crypto. I got my first Bitcoin in 2015 and so on. I've been riding the waves. I mean, some ups, some downs, great. But the thing with crypto is there are a lot of camps to crypto. There are people who got into crypto through shady projects, and they forever have a scar. And then there are people who got to crypto through ease of moving money, ease of spending money, ease of, I mean, if I want to send money to somebody in France and he's aware of crypto, the first thing I do, okay, yeah, I will just send you a USDT or some Bitcoin or whatsoever. Now, employees are different from entrepreneurs. Now, you know about crypto, but there are a lot of people who don't know about this crypto, even if they are some of the smartest in the room, right? It's about what you pursue and what you know about. So how do you intend to bridge this gap? Is there going to be some way to learn about Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some stable coin that doesn't go down no matter how the market goes? Or
So that's obviously one of the pushback I get. There will be a lot of education. I do believe we are very early still, even though it's like a little bit more than a decade now. Check the stats a few days ago. It's just like 5% of the whole world is in crypto, something like this.